Hello, everyone, and good evening. Good evening to everyone who's sending the messages. Thank you so much for joining. Um, it's 5 p.m. Please either put in chat or unmute and tell me, are you able to hear me clearly?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
Thank
ma'am.
you. Thank you. So I've seen usually a lot of people join at 5 o'clock. So I'll just wait for 1 minute and then we will start. This will be interactive, so I hope everyone participates, and I will be pausing in between for you to ask questions or comment. Otherwise, in the end, I'm going to keep 10, 15, 10 minutes for anyone for like an open house where you can ask any question from teaching maths or any other subject. This is a like free from any subject. This is a problem solving as a skill, as a focus. So then we will after the open house. So I think all in all, it should take about 45 minutes to an hour. And the recording link I will send to AIEF, and they will send it to their Facebook page later. And the PowerPoint which I'm using, I will give a viewing link to all of you. So you can later on, if you want to catch up, if you want to use it again, you're most welcome to use it. I do that in all workshops. So you don't have to take notes because all the resources and all the links, everything is already there on the PPT. So it's 5:01. I'll just wait like 1 more minute. I've seen that people keep coming in the session. Okay, then here we go. This session is on problem solving completely in general. And thanks to the AIEF platform for bringing all of us together. This is, I'm just going to start by showing you a video. It's a very small clipping, and I would like you to just watch it, enjoy, and in the end, I'll ask you a question. And tell me if the sound is not audible. That you can put your messages in chat box if you have any question or if sound is a problem.
Whoa, that's not good.
Oh, I don't need this. I'm already late.
Somebody will come. Anybody out there?
Do you have a phone?
No. Sorry. Somebody! Hello? There are two people stuck on an escalator and we need help. Now, would somebody please do something? I don't believe this. You gotta be kidding me.
I'm gonna cry.
Well, there's not enough left to do, is it?
Hello? Hey, don't worry about it. I'll fix it in a second.
He said he can fix it. All right. All right. That's more like it. He says he can fix it.
Okay, so question for you. What do you think was happening in this story? And what would you have done if you were in place of these people? They all faced a problem. So any one of you, if you can either unmute or put it in chat box, what would you have done if you were on the elevator in place of them? Would anyone like to answer? You would walk on the escalator.
I would
Simplest
walk
possible.
on the
I can
escalator
walk,
or find
yes.
a solution
Yeah,
I can walk also like
yeah.
this.
So one is
rather
walk.
than
I will
screaming.
walk and call the person who is in charge why it is happening, because
Okay.
further those who are all there, they should not be affected, caught in the middle.
Okay, so you're saying you will walk, but you will also call the person and whoever
Or-
is in charge and then
Yes.
do something. Okay, what else can you do to solve this problem if you were going, if you look at it a little creatively? Would walk and inform the security team. Okay, fantastic. Yeah, Neha? Neha ma'am?
Yeah, rather
Somebody-
than screaming, we should find the solution. We can think calmly what we can do there, and we
Yeah.
can call the security person.
Hmm. But they tried to call, no? Nobody came. Would climb the steps. Yeah, you can climb and climb down. What they did was they didn't do anything. They just sat down there and they didn't exactly do anything. So this is a very simple example of problem solving where anytime problems can hit us in life. And one of the most important skills that as adults we know we need to learn in life is how do we solve problems. So this session is about giving you some simple tools and techniques that you can use as parents in your house or as teachers in the classroom. And if you're school heads, administrators, then you can use those in your role, or you can teach the teachers. So I'll be happy if this just spreads and more people come to know about it. So problem solving is engaging in a task for which solution is not known in advance. So in order to find the solution, and this is from National Council of Teachers of Maths, USA. So students need to develop new understanding, which means that giving a problem where solution is not known. For example, these people who were on the elevator, they didn't know what to do. The problem was that they always thought that the elevators always work, and yes, we can say that they could have walked, they could have climbed, but if you saw, the elevator was pretty high with a number of floors, and quite possible sometime maybe somebody is not well, anything can happen. So basically, when you get a situation where you don't know what to do, that's where creative problem solving comes. And what do you do? Like sometime right now in my life, I am also stuck in a problem where I don't know what to do. So that's where you need a couple of skills of creative problem solving. So one of the tools is called STEP. It says, say the problem, as what we did just now. Say the problem, I'm stuck on the elevator. Think of lots and lots of solutions. I can call the security guard, I can walk up, I can walk down. Maybe among us, whoever is healthy can run up and down and help others. Then explore consequences. Okay, if I walk up, then do I have the health for it? If I send someone who's healthy and I say, you walk up and down, will that person actually call the security and will that person just go? And then pick the best solution. So maybe the people on the elevator, they thought somebody is going to come someday, so we will just sit. And this reminds me of a time when there was so much rains in North India, and I'm in Delhi. I was in a Shatabdi Express from Delhi to Chandigarh, and in between, the dam broke. So there was so much water that the railway track itself was 3 feet under the water, and the trains were stopped. In that region, all trains were stopped. So Shatabdi, which prides itself on reaching on time, was just halted. And it was the middle of nowhere. It was not like you get off and you take a car and or you take a bus. So, and I found those were the days when I had a credit card in my wallet but very little cash. And people came from villages. They brought their tractors and others, and they told the people in the train, if you want, we can drop you to the nearest road, you can take the bus and go. But it was night time. They were charging 200 rupees, and I hadn't carried because I was like, I have the card. So a lot of people chose to get off, walk to the next station and wait. A lot of people got off, took the tractor, went to the main road. And we were wondering what to do, but most of us, there was one man in the coach who was a very, very confident voice. He said, railway will never leave its trains stranded. So just be here, solution will come. And he was such a confident voice that most of us decided to stay there. And after about 8 hours, during which everybody shared food, everybody helped each other with their kids and grown-ups, and the light was there, the AC was there. After 8 hours, only the Shatabdi Express in that region was allowed to move, and it crawled and crawled and crawled and crawled and reached Chandigarh after 11 hours. So that's what I meant, that you think of multiple solutions, you explore consequences. So I was like, should I go with a tractor to the main road? No. I'm alone, single woman, it's night, what do you do? Should I get off and go to the next station and take the train back home? What will I do? So I chose to be where the railway gentleman was there and reach Chandigarh. I'm not saying this was the best solution, but this is a solution for me. So this is step, say the problem, acknowledge, okay, here is a problem. I don't know what to do. Solution A, solution B. So this is something we can teach the children. And this is one I brought. So one question for you, why has NEP has talked at length about problem solving. Why has NEP made problem solving skill mandatory? NEP says this has to be taught in all classes. Would anyone like to answer this question? You can raise your hand, you can write in the chat box, or you can just speak. Why has NEP made? Why do you think problem solving skill is needed? Why should we teach the kids?
Now the time is like that. We are giving education to kids, not just the academics. I think later on they can use these things, these type of skills to solve their daily life problems. That's why slowly, like in maths and science, we are always solving the problem. Small things, it will make kids confident, so that later on they should know where to apply these skills.
Absolutely.
Generally, most of the people, they are educated, but later on in their life, maybe somewhere they are not able to apply these type of skills.
Absolutely. So to become life smart, as you are saying, really good answer. And as Sudhanshu wrote, that to become life smart, to develop thinking ability among the students. Yes, and you're very true, ma'am, that this is a life skill which is needed. Life is full of problems. They will be strong enough to make children confident and self-dependent. Students should face the problems in their life and sort out, develop thinking ability. All these answers are great. So
Excuse me, ma'am, you are muted, ma'am. Voice is not audible.
okay, now is it?
Yes, it's audible now.
Okay, thank you so much. I think I did it by mistake. So there is a planned way that problem solving can be taught in the class. And so I'm just going to run you through some examples. And if this is your subject, I'll also give you a minute to share maybe an idea from your end. Let's say you're teaching history. And how do we bring problem solving in history? So we talk about any historical event that didn't turn out very well. So students can brainstorm ways. How could this person have acted to create a positive outcome? For example, you can take the Jallianwala Bagh episode in Punjab where General Dyer was faced with so many people, and he was told by his boss that these people who are protesting here need to be removed. He didn't know what to do. So he decided to shoot all of them. Everybody died, and Jallianwala Bagh is now a historic event. They jumped in wells, and not a single person was left alive. And General Dyer thought that, okay, I've done what my boss said. Now, this is one event with a very, very negative outcomes, which is to date talked about in history, in life. So students can brainstorm, what could General Dyer have done in that situation? If he had said, I am not going to shoot them, his boss would have caught him, his boss would have fired him. Maybe he has a family, maybe he needs the money, or maybe he's scared. Could he have done something different? Could he have shot in the air? So this is one way that in history, anytime an event comes which is not a very good outcome, children can be given, let's say, 10-15 minutes, brainstorm and find out and tell me what else could have been done. Why did he act in this way? What else could he have done? Can you give another example, or would anyone who knows history or has taught history, would you like to give an example here or share something? Adding problem solving in history.
Good evening, ma'am.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm a social science teacher.
Yeah.
So I would have taught this Jallianwala Bagh many times.
Okay.
So the same way how you are telling, the way some will not introduce the topic and with the negative things there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we will ask the children. So this was the situation. Everybody was gathered there.
Yeah.
So what they would have done, why, how you would have entered, how many parts are there, the walls are what in the condition, all these things we will explain there. Then only we will come to the actual topic.
Absolutely. So then you can ask the children, okay, why did he do it this way? So the children don't go back with a think that, oh, General Dyer was a bad man and he shot. He goes back thinking that maybe there was a reason. Maybe something happened there. Let me find out all the facts. So this is the example from history. Let's say if you do SEL, which is social emotional learning, or anyone who's a counselor here, create something called as a problem solving box, which means that there is a box in the class, and even subject teachers can do that, class teachers can do that, mentors, parents can do that at home. Have a box which is locked and which has a hole, and the box is called problem solving box. If anyone has a problem, they write it on a paper and they don't know what to do. It can be any problem under the sun, and they put it in that box. Once or twice a week, open the box, share the problems with the other children in the class, and brainstorm as a group. Let's say the box open once a week and there are 5 problems in it. Get the kids to sit in groups, give the problem, maybe one problem to each group, and ask them, how do you think this person should do? For example, I tried this in my class when I was teaching years ago. And one of the problems that came out was from a child in the class itself, but it was anonymous. And it was like, I just don't know how to build a timetable to self-study. And the group brought the solutions. And fortunately, the child who had given the problem raised the hand and she said, this is my problem. And then the group quickly sat with her, understood her situation, and then gave her a timetable. So this is another way of problem solving. Now, this can be any problem. It can come from social emotional space. It can also come from, I just don't understand physics, or I just don't know what to do in the next project in geography. And the people came together and worked. Can anyone give an example here? If you tried something like a problem solving box, or if you think this can be used in any way, would anyone like to share something? Anyone from social emotional learning or counseling?
I think grouping is a better way. If any student is weak or not learning, so we should make a group. For example, if one student is feeling shy to come ahead, but he or she is ready to come in front on the stage with a group.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So in this way, we can bring confidence in such students,
Absolutely.
they will also feel happy rather than saying you can't do it or it's not possible.
Yeah, that's a good one. So grouping with collaboration, problem solving can be taken care of. Let's say there's something like career guidance, which is now again an important topic, especially grade 8 upwards is start thinking. So collect items that are associated with a specific profession. What does an IT consultant do? What do the social workers do? Assemble actual items, put it in a box, let the children, these are like clues for that profession. You want children to become aware of any particular career, and then the children pull out clues from the bag and they try to figure out what this profession is all about. So this is something in career guidance as a fun way of that. What you do is you take a career and you talk about what are the problems that these people solve. So you turn career guidance into a problem solving situation. For example, this person listens to you and your medical issues and then suggests medicine, which would be very obvious. This person would have built the ERP which your school is using for attendance, so you know that this is a product designer. So turn this into a problem solving situation, as in what are the problems that are being solved by these people. Any thoughts here or any example? I brought career guidance especially because this is like such an important part of schooling. Anyone from career guidance here or parents? Okay. Language, create a scenario for students. For example, I gave you a scenario where these people were stuck on the elevator. And get the kids into groups, ask them, work together as a group and think what kind of a solution is possible, and then come and talk about it. So language has speaking skills, listening skills, writing skills. So depending on which skill you're working on, ask the children, write a solution and maybe present it as a group to the whole class, maybe write everything on a chart or something. So language is pretty easy to bring problem solving skills because you take any problem in under the sun and give it to the children in groups and ask them to give a solution. Anyone? I'm sure there are language teachers here. Would anyone like to share if you brought problem solving in the class? Yes, Promila, you have raised your hand. Promila ma'am. Is it by mistake? Anyone else would like to say something? Language teacher? How do you bring problem solving in language? No one? Okay. Then moral education. Moral education is again another very simple way. You give them a problem, actual problem, and which we face in our life again and again. The cashier gave me an extra rupees 102. What should I do? Am I going to keep it because the cashier's fault, I haven't stolen, or am I going to return it to the cashier? So this is another way where children can be asked to brainstorm, think, have a very non-judgmental attitude to the kids, because a child may say, it's not my fault, he gave it to me, I'm going to pocket it. Another child may say, no, that would be cheating, we must return it. Encourage everyone to give reasoning. What would be your reasoning? Is it right? Do you think it's justified for the cashier? Is it justified for you? This is a time where the adult needs to be a little non-judgmental. And Vimal ji has written, in my English class, I will ask the children to come up with their own creative ending for a story. Fantastic. This is fantastic. That give them a problem in the form of a video or anything else, or a story such as this. And the children can come up with the creative ending for themselves. Only thing is, they should talk about it or they should write about it. So the English skills can be used. Thank you so much.
I have also done once that story. I am teaching Hindi. The story Tatara Vamira Kata.
Okay.
If you are in the place of that Tatara, what you will do?
Absolutely. Great. And that way, so next time you do this, think I'm building problem solving capacities in the children and ask them a lot of questions. Why do you think of this question? There's a favorite way I find 5W and 1H. I'm just putting it in the chat box. You can Google it. I give this a lot to people. You can even remember it as 5 wives and 1 husband. W is when, where, what, why. H is how. So you can say, how did you think about it? Why did you think about it? Where did you see this situation before? So probe a little whenever you are doing problem solving. And Mitali says, when we have 2 views, we can always we can conclude. How should, as teachers, we conclude this without being judgmental? That's a good question. How we conclude is, one is you keep your voice tone very neutral. So if a child says, I'm going to return it. So, okay, what would you do? I'm going to keep it in my pocket. Okay. So I would say A says, I'm going to keep it. B says, I'm going to return it. I'm going to ask the rest of the class, what would you do? Then I would ask A, why would you want to return it? What do you think is the advantage and disadvantage of returning it? The child says, I'm not going to return it. What do you think is the advantage and disadvantage of not returning it? So being non-judgmental is about not making the kids feel bad for their choice unless they are saying something really, really horrible. A third child may say, I'm going to pocket it and I'm going to give it to a beggar. So the teacher needs to only remember that keep asking questions. Okay, what makes you think this is the best solution? Why would you do that? Has it happened with you before? And then maybe to avoid having a huge argument in the class, you can wind up the class by asking the children, maybe why don't you just write what would you like to do in this situation and which is the best method. So the children learn that every solution has a positive and a negative, and the solution can be a good solution or a bad solution. So this is in moral education, and we had examples. So now I will show you another video of kids doing something in real life.
So how can we improve it so that it's clear that there's more than one thing?
You could just go to the tab that says that category. Some tabs for what makes an ecosystem healthy.
Awesome ideas. We're going to share.
Because our students solve real-world problems, they see themselves as important, thoughtful people who are able to grapple with really tough problems and make decisions that have meaning.
Our school is a preschool through 8th grade public charter school in Washington. Our mission is really to help all students develop a lifelong love of learning.
So keep cutting. Problem-based learning is at the heart of what we do. We think that learning is really important, but it's for a purpose. And that purpose for our kids is to solve some kind of problem that's important to them and to their lives.
What was the problem we're trying to solve?
People think that spiders are disgusting and gross.
Yeah. What are the stories that we read about spiders? How are the spiders portrayed? Jonas?
So please watch carefully the way the teacher is using questions to drive the problem solving. And you will find a lot of 5 wives and 1 husband over here.
In a horrible way. People think that spiders are like scary or dangerous, and actually they're not.
We've been working on our spider stories for quite a while, because they are the way that we're solving our problem.
Why write stories?
It changes people's minds.
And what else can it change?
Their hearts.
Their hearts.
Every student studied their own spider. They did research on all of the attributes of that spider. Then they had to take those facts and create a story around them.
The spider I've been researching is the broad-faced sack spider. My story's about this little spider trying to find a home and how the problems it gets through to find the perfect place to live. It's Daddy Longlegs! This writing project is actually helping us learn how to write better because you can look back at your research and then you can know like the facts.
He dove to eat the spider. What I hope that I'm building are like tiny problem solvers.
There was a spitting spider.
It's a really appropriate way for them to practice those lifelong skills.
The bird didn't see him, so he went past the edge.
When I think about how to identify a quality problem, I think about what is the authentic context that I can situate that problem within. Our school's called Two Rivers, and
I would pause here because now they are going into a situation which is very unrealistic for most of the Indian schools. But I really liked what he said, that in real life problems, it is always important that we think of a very important, very real life, authentic context in which to create the problem. So now my question to you is, for all the teachers, as when I was also a teacher, we used to think this, what are the challenges to implement this kind of session? Like I showed you in the video, where the teacher is using story writing or the people are using some other way to take a real life problem and solve it. Think about this question while I show you maybe just a little bit of what they do.
Think about this third question.
The students are really taking part in an authentic restoration project.
I like that the topic isn't taught to you. You have to like figure stuff out. We go on field studies so we can see what it actually looks like. Then solutions like rain barrels, wetland plants.
It's not.
So they work together, they come back and they discuss. What are the challenges in your particular environment where you think this may be to implement? But if any one of you is implementing it, please feel free to share that also. I'll just give you 1 minute for this. Would anyone like to share? What are the challenges to implement? And don't say time, because that is a perpetual challenge every teacher in school faces. Teacher-child ratio, yes, that's a very important challenge. Thanks. And for India, it's like quite, for schools in India or developing countries, teacher-child ratio is a big problem. How can we solve a teacher-child ratio problem? How can a teacher who has, let's say, 60 children in the class engage in problem-solving session? Can anyone share? And if anyone has so many kids, individual differences, yes, that's another big challenge, that children are different. So how can one solve this? How can one solve the problem of individual differences, students coming from different background? Thank you, Neha ji. Thanks, Mr. Venkatesh. How do we solve this? Collaborative learning, absolutely. So if your teacher should make the groups, I can't tell you when I was teaching how much group work solved my problem in class. I ended up, instead of teaching 30 kids or 40 kids, I ended up working actually only with 5 or 6 because the rest were all working with each other in the group. So that is something that solve this thing. So thank you,
ma'am. The bright kids, they should work together.
Absolutely.
The students who are coming from, educated parents or good families,
yeah,
they are happy to do such kind of work. They are happy to help other kids.
Yeah.
So they generally ask, ma'am, can we help? Can we help? So bright kids, let them work together and we can focus on weak kids.
Absolutely. This is true. And like so many of you wrote group work. Thank you, Sudhanshu, Rupinder, Mohammed ji. Teacher-students ratio, we can sort by making groups. And Sarita, yes, time limit is a problem, which is why always give a timer to the kids and say, you have 10 minutes to do this, or you have 15 minutes to do this. Somehow that seems to be solving the time problem. So that is the challenges for implementing in the class and how you can solve. So some other techniques for implementation in the class I want to share with you. So what happens is that when children get stuck in a problem, even in life you would have seen, whenever we have a problem and we talk to someone, the general tendency is people immediately start giving you solutions. And similarly, it happens in the class also. If a child has a problem, generally teachers and all of us, including me, this habit is there that let me just solve the child's problem. If you remember stuck, unstuck, and I'm talking here about math, but this is valuable anywhere else. Remember the words stuck, unstuck, and give these words to the children. Put these words on placards in the class. Tell the children, your job is to get stuck and work through it and get yourself unstuck. So you can ask, and if a child has sorted, you can ask, what did you do to get yourself unstuck? What was your first step? Again, remember 5W and 1H. What was your first step? What are you doing now? How do you think you'll move to the next step? For a short while, give them the space to get stuck. So remember, teach the children these words. You're stuck, but you can get unstuck. Like I spoke to a friend the other day for the problem that I've been facing right now. And she said, Panika, you're stuck, but be quiet, wait for a few days, the answer will come and you will get unstuck. So these are two words which I think should go in the vocabulary of the children. Any thoughts on this? Stuck, unstuck. Believing that I am becoming very mindful and stuck, but also believing that I will get unstuck. This is one thing. If anyone wants to share, otherwise I'll move. This is like stuck, unstuck posters in the class. When I give you this PPT or copy, you will see the web links also where I took this. So this can just go in on the wall. This is something kids and teachers have made, saying, why am I stuck? I think this is what's happening. What are the problem? What can I do here? Can I restate the problem? So what should we do when we are stuck to get ourselves unstuck? So this is absolutely a training for problem solving, which can be done. And yes, it takes time. And therefore, it's not something that you do every day. It's not something you do for the whole lesson. Maybe a poster can also go up the wall and you can tell the children, okay, you are stuck. Look at the poster. What do you think you can do for it? Maybe I'm going to give you 2 minutes to see if you can get unstuck. And as I said before, always give them a time limit. That maybe, why don't you spend 1 minute and try this? Like, for example, a kid in my class said, I just don't want to do math. I'm getting so bored. I said, why don't you give yourself 2 minutes and try? And after 2 minutes, when I asked her, how are you feeling? She said, oh, I completely forgot that I was bored. So I'm working on it. So give a timer to the kids. Again, if the number is too large, I would say, okay, if you can't do it with all 50, can you do it with 5? Can you do it with 2 kids? Can you do it with 1 child? So, but try and teach them the words stuck and unstuck. The other thing is, like a teacher wrote, I have normalized trouble in the classroom. I don't say, this is part of growth mindset, as it has become such a huge branded word, branded phrase in the world, that if a child has a problem, I don't judge them. I don't say, if a child, let's say, writes 3 + 2 is 7, I'm not going to say, oh, this is so wrong. So make problems normal. Like, don't say life is great only when there are no problems. Make problems part of life. It's normal. This is it. So children will accept that, yes, there are times when there is a challenge. There are times when we fail. And as we struggle through it, we grow. So normalize trouble. That can again like go in the classroom. And when you look at the PPT, these are links and you can have a look at more of reading here. What else can you do? Anyone has a suggestion? Anyone who has worked on problem solving?
I think we should give time to the students. Some students are afraid of giving the solution by thinking that our solution could be wrong. That's
Absolutely.
why they usually, they didn't speak anything, especially the weak students.
Absolutely.
So we should make them confident that even if your solutions are wrong, that's okay. But at least try to give solutions.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, ma'am. And then Padma ma'am has said, wait patiently, be calm, reflect over, slowly you will come out. I think this is a beautiful thing, and this can also go up on the wall in the classroom. Wait patiently, be calm, reflect over, slowly you will come out. So Posters like these can come out. Peer discussion, yes, that also is helpful. But make the kids feel that it's normal to go wrong. It's completely normal if your answer came out incorrect. And this is what ma'am was saying just now. Give the kids time. I've always seen with kids, and even in us adults, we have this thing, oh, I have a problem, I want a solution immediately. And this is something I heard when I was teaching in the Krishnamurti school, and one of my colleagues said, the children need that stamina for struggle. Give them some time when they are struggling. So create a classroom environment in which kids are problem solvers. That happens only by giving them that time to struggle. It's like a muscle that is built. It's like muscles in the body which are built when we exercise. So this is also like a muscle where the stamina for struggle. So when I used to teach, my subject is math, and when I used to teach even in the earlier years, I used to tell the kids, okay, I know you're struggling. I know you don't know how to solve this problem. I'm going to help you, but after 2 minutes and 45 seconds. And then I used to just look at my watch and say, for 2 minutes and 45 seconds, I want you to literally struggle with this problem. Now, there are some kids who have a higher stamina. So to them, I used to say, okay, I'm going to give you maybe 10 minutes to struggle. Sometimes I also said, I'm going to give you 3 days to struggle with this problem. It builds, it's like when we exercise, our muscles become stronger. This is something that builds the stamina for struggle. And looking at the messages, one thought has come on chat. The children should feel free to share their problems. Sometimes they are afraid. Yes, ma'am, this is why I say be non-judgmental with the kids. Show them or read out the life of great people, of how they come up, and then being patient and determined. Yeah, being patient with themselves, that can be a part of this. And show them, maybe allowing stamina for struggle. Show them stories of some people who had such a huge problem in life, maybe Nelson Mandela from Africa, or maybe a very simple tribal woman from India, or maybe a story of, let's say, my maid, who gets over so many problems one after the other. So sharing stories so that they become strong. Thank you, Mr. Vimal. Thank you, Vimalji. Thank you, Rupinderji, for your comments. So these are all the tools I had to share with you. So now my question for you is, what have you learned so far? Can you share like any one tool out of so many tools I shared with you that you really felt very useful? You can put it in the chat, or you can unmute and speak one by one. That is there any tool that you found today that you felt, yeah, this is very useful for me in my class or with my kids at home or with me?
Career guidance.
Okay, clues and career
I
guidance.
think social emotional learning, I will go with that. That will be very helpful in the class.
Yeah. Any other thing anyone learned? Thank you so much. Stuck and unstuck strategy. Yeah.
Yes, stuck and unstuck. Yes.
Problem solving box. Jayanti says problem solving box. Yeah. Yeah. Stuck. Moral values. Yes. Neha, you can speak up. You don't need to open the queue because everyone is speaking one after the other. Stuck and unstuck.
By mistake, it just, I don't
no
like
problem.
typing. Yeah.
Okay. Stuck and unstuck strategy. Even that is even my favorite. Problem solving box. Students need to comprehend. I didn't understand that. Students need to comprehend. Yeah. But overall, there are these practical tools. So here are the resources that I have used in this PPT. And when I share this with you in the chat box, you can, I'll make it accessible to everyone. So no worries. Vimalji, I have a spread positivity corner in my class where children appreciate their friends. Now I will try this for sharing their problems also to discuss and find out solutions. Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing this. And now is the open house time. If you have any questions, you can ask me. Meanwhile,
Yes,
I'm
ma'am, I have
giving
a
the
question.
feedback form. Please fill the feedback form side by side and
Ma'am.
you can ask. Yes, ma'am.
The child is having 8 hours of sleep at home,
Yeah,
but even throughout the day sleeping in class.
yeah.
What solution we can make?
I think you'll have to first find out why the child is sleeping so much. You'll have to maybe do a little bit investigation here, talk to the parents, talk to other teachers. Is the child sleeping only in your class, other classes also?
Most of the time.
Then you need to become a detective now.
Yeah.
So then you'll need to be a detective.
But yes, as I said, I had a nice sound sleep at home. Yes, ma'am, 8 hours I am sleeping.
Yeah, then maybe some more investigation, find out is he really sleeping or it's just it's not really, sleep is not really happening. Maybe it could be something medical, could be something which needs counseling, could be anything. So a little bit of a detective investigation is needed to talk to the parents.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Thanks for your question. And meanwhile, people, as you're asking questions, others, and there's a PPT is there for you to view, and you can ask questions, and please fill the feedback form because it really, like it helps us to get better at our work. Any other question? Any other comment? Anyone wants to share? Did you get anything from today's session? Was it helpful? Yes, Manoj-ji. And okay, can you show me through your reactions? Was this helpful to you? You can maybe use these reactions here, the smiley face. Okay.
Yeah, sure, ma'am. It was a nice session.
Yeah.
And
Yes, whoever is raising hands, you can please speak up. It'll be great if you can just speak up. Unless it's by mistake. Otherwise, please. Yes, please. Thank you. Thank you for the reactions, everyone. At least I know you are here and you haven't gone. So thank you so much for joining. Please fill the feedback form, use the PPT. Thank you for your comments. Yes, I acknowledge your thoughts and ideas because your thoughts and ideas were so amazing. And I think finally those who are practitioners absolutely know best what to do. We are only supporting you a bit. So we can wrap it up. Good 45 minutes time I spent. Thank you so much, everyone.